Welcome to Modern Marketing Messages. In this episode, we're presenting to you a webinar session that was presented live during this year's americaneagle.com customer forum. This forum is a special event exclusively for existing americaneagle.com clients looking to learn about the latest web trends, digital marketing, and tips and tricks to improve their overall digital presence. In this episode, we will learn about YouTube domination through organic optimization with Senior Digital Marketing Specialist and Email Team Lead Scott Lemke and Senior Social Media Specialist Morgan Tracy. We hope you learned some valuable insights from this presentation, and we now present to you Scott and Morgan.
Well, welcome to the YouTube domination session. Everyone's heard of YouTube, right? I'm assuming everyone in the room's heard of YouTube. It's kind of a big channel. But we're talking about organic optimization, how to optimize your channel and your current videos and give you a better plan and just to use YouTube better. And hopefully you'll walk away with a whole bunch of takeaways. So I'm Scott Lemke. I'm one of our senior digital marketing strategists here. I'm also one of the email marketing team leads. Also one of the go-to people for YouTube. I've been here for a little over 7.5 years. I actually came from a client. So I've been working with American Eagle since 2010. So I've actually been in these forum sessions before. So it's kind of full circle being back up here again on the other side.
Yes, and I am Morgan Tracy. I'm a senior social media specialist here at American Eagle, really focusing on all things social, trying to help you with your links and hopefully all things organic and paid social, tying that back into YouTube, of course. And I've been at American Eagle for a little over 2 years now. And so just to give you guys a little bit of an overview of our agenda for today, we're going to talk a little bit more about why YouTube, why should you guys be using YouTube. We'll get into 5 different tips you can do right now, things that you can immediately do on your own with your internal teams or with the help of americaneagle.com. And then we'll give you guys a little bit more resources. And then finally, again, wrapping it up, how we can help or how you guys can help yourselves with different YouTube optimizations.
So why YouTube? It's like the more you know sound effect. So it's the world's second largest search engine. I've been saying this for like half of my career and didn't really fully understand what that meant. Up until a couple of years ago, I've always put videos on YouTube and then taken that code, embedded it on the web page, and that was it. Never went back, never looked back at YouTube. It was basically just a vehicle to be able to get this video onto the website. And there's 1,000 ways of doing that better, and we're going to talk about a bunch of those. So over 2 billion monthly active users. YouTube Shorts are more than 30 billion daily views. People watch 1 billion of hours of video each day, which I can attest to with 2 kids and a wife. Over 500 hours of video content uploaded every minute. Kind of wild. So only 9% of businesses have a YouTube channel, and only about 10% of them are doing it correctly. We'll show you a couple of good examples as well. It's the longest standing content on the internet. I go back and watch videos from last year, or 2 years ago, Jimmy Buffett concerts from 10 years ago. Stuff just lives on YouTube forever, which is great. Only 22% of marketers are using stories, which is huge. It's a huge opportunity. Flipping through reels every single night for an hour before bed kind of seems to be the thing to do now. And YouTube is usually the first place for the social shopping journey. I bought a coffee maker on Amazon a couple of weeks ago, and I went on YouTube, watched a couple of videos, making sure that the features that I want were on this to do iced coffee and cold brew and blah, blah, blah. But I watched these videos on how to use the coffee maker even before I bought it. So when I bought it, I got it, I unboxed it, and I was able to make a cup of coffee that night. So it's pretty simple. So why do we care about YouTube from a search engine standpoint? So this specific topic was, what's the best way to advertise on YouTube? You can see in the left screenshot, the search ads come up first. The knowledge graph is that second block. Related searches, so pretty high up there. And then the YouTube videos were on there next. And then it was all the organic rankings. This is for how to change a tire. We get that knowledge graph right up at the top, the related searches, organic top listing, kudos to Bridgestone Tires for being that one organic rank up there. And then the videos, and then the rest of those organic results. So Google is really using that YouTube channel as a very high powered search engine result as far as the results that they're giving us. So how many of us have a YouTube channel for work? Pretty much everybody. Okay, good. How many of you have a video content strategy? Ooh, more than I thought. Good, yeah, kind of. I saw that. How many of us think we're doing it right? Ooh, it's a trick question. We'll ask that again at the end, so hold your answers. Yeah. So, like I said before, putting the video into YouTube, putting it on a web page, that's great, but we're missing a ton of opportunity. So it's the same thing as every other social channel, every single website. Sales, lead generation, traffic, email signups, channel subscribers, and of course, dominate organically, which is the topic of today. Why? More website traffic equals more sales, more leads in general. Okay, so this is my idea, so don't blame Morgan for this. So I came up with a new acronym. It's WYSIWYG's second cousin. It's WikiDern. Anybody have a guess?
What can you do right now?
Oh, man, you guys saw this already. Wow, good job. What can you do right now? So we're not giving out tips and best practice things today. We're giving you ideas of what you can do right now with your channels or with your YouTube. And of course, don't forget to go online and buy all your WikiDern apparel. Kidding.
All right. Oh, yep, it's on. Okay, so first we're going to get into some channel optimization. So what can you do before you start building out that strategy you may or may not already have? So things to check and optimize for your YouTube channel. You want to make sure that your username is correct. You want to make sure your channel URL is correct. The profile image and the profile header image, are those up to date? Do they kind of connect with all of your other social channels? Are they optimized as far as clear and concise text, clear images, whatever you're going to have on that profile image and the header image? And then also with the description, about us text, is that filled out? Does it tell users a little bit more about who you are, as well as giving call to actions and site linking? With YouTube, you can link and have multiple links, which is really awesome. So where are you linking to on your site? Is that up to date? Do those URLs still work? So we just want to make sure that all of that is optimized before we start building out that strategy, building out all of those different videos. So here's two examples of a before and after of one of our clients that we helped with their YouTube channel, and you can kind of see which one looks better. Obviously, the one on the right is the after. It has an updated cover image, an updated profile image. You can see there's a couple different links there, as well as an About Us section. So again, we really want to make sure the branding is up to date, matches your YouTube or matches your website, as well as all your other social channels. And then moving on, we have another, which one's going to perform better? So the one on the right, again, the after, it has those URLs. It directs users directly to where they want to go on the site. Do they want to find the store locator, or maybe they want to find the different collections of wines? We want to, again, make it as easy as possible for those users to get exactly where they want to go. Also, as I mentioned previously, the description's been updated to give them just a little bit more information.
By the way, the client of ours, their previous agency owned their YouTube channel, and the client didn't even have access to their admin. So it kind of went dormant for 7 years until we went in there and created a new account recently to kind of get them back up and rolling again on the channel.
And then we have another example of one of our other clients here. Again, updating the cover image, updating the links, making sure that that profile image, if you can see that up at the top here, that's up to date, matches the brand name. And again, which one's going to perform better? The optimized one is going to perform better. You have those updated links, that updated description, as well as kind of the visuals have been updated. And then here's just a couple other examples of optimized pages. Of course, we have the americaneagle.com YouTube, as well as one of our podcasts, Modern Marketing Messages, as well as Apple here, just to show you how the branding's consistent across the cover image, the profile picture, as well as utilizing those multiple links that you can have, as well as updating the description, the username. Again, just making sure everything is optimized before you get into that strategy, before you get into all of the different work you're going to do with YouTube.
It's really just another social channel, essentially. We focus so much on making sure that Facebook and Instagram are all consistent with the brand, but a lot of companies just kind of dismiss YouTube. What's great about YouTube is it's really a hybrid between social and SEO too, especially because Google gives it so much weight as far as the results. So content optimization. So we'll talk a little bit next about making those videos, but what about all the videos that are currently on the channel or sitting in your hard drive that you don't have up on YouTube yet? Some ideas to kind of optimize what you already have up there. So everyone's familiar with the admin of the actual video post itself, but making sure that you've got your video titles, the video description, and the thumbnail. The thumbnail, this was a short for this specific example, so we didn't have a thumbnail on here, but this is kind of where all that information goes. And as far as video titles, do your keyword research. You want to make sure that you've got valuable keywords in there that people are searching for, either on the web or within YouTube. Make sure it's grabbing that attention. Communicate the purpose quickly. A great example is stop doing this and do this instead, depending on your brand or your service or product that you're selling. Fame hacking and video tagging. That's kind of doing some of that keyword research on seeing what your competitors are doing on YouTube or topics within your space and finding what they're doing, and if their videos are getting a lot of views, a lot of likes, a lot of interaction. Find out what they're using as far as their tagging. And we've got some tools to do that towards the end. But you could tag your videos and kind of piggyback alongside of those videos as well. Clickbait is okay. It's horrible for email and horrible for social media, but YouTube it's okay as long as you're fulfilling what that promise is talking about. Video descriptions, again, do your keyword research. The descriptions are, hugely valuable from an SEO perspective. Use an AI transcriber or YouTube's transcription service. Make sure you're using your chapters as well, depending on the length of the video, of course. You want to put those chapter markers in there so people can jump specifically to those sections. And there's even, in the search results page, it'll even show some of those chapters as well. So by naming those chapters, it's also helping kind of tell the story of what that video is talking about. Add the transcription to the video's description. So, and we'll talk about that when we put it on the website too, but taking that transcription and putting it into the description so people can also read through the description of the video and get the gist of the content, and then add that transcript to the website. Thumbnails, I grabbed YouTube video thumbnails, like how to do YouTube video thumbnails, perfect for the slide. And then an example that we had recently done for Gold Switzerland. So big, bright colors and branding, using faces, exaggerate. You see all these people with the different, like thousands of pictures making goofy faces and pointing at different spots, and it's easy, but it grabs attention really well. Spark interest, try to keep the words pretty limited, big exciting visuals, and don't necessarily use your title. That's what the title part's for. The thumbnail's more to grab that moment of attention. And why are we doing all this? Search results. So this was the example from Gold Switzerland that we did a few months ago. So we took a 29-minute video that was published about a year and a half ago, and they wanted us to optimize it to try and get this more views going for that specific video, more subscribers, more channel views, etc. So we optimized the daylights out of this one specific video. Before it was 29 minutes, just a straight video. We chaptered it, we did the transcriptions, we did keyword research for the top part of the description, the video title, we did the thumbnail, thanks to Andrew Atwood's work. So really optimize the daylights out of that video, publish it up. What we also did was we made a blog post on their website with the video at the top and the whole, basically the entire video description from YouTube with the transcript on the page. It was a little long, but it was great to have all that content actually living on the site. So now people are browsing your site, they're seeing that in the news section, they're coming across it in search results. And again, you can blast that content out, which we'll talk about again soon. But within 2 months of doing all this work, this specific topic, the importance of wealth preservation, YouTube was the number 2 result and their web page was number 4. This was in 2 months, which is like huge, really, really quick for SEO. So they were very, very happy, and views went through the roof, subscriptions went through the roof, traffic from YouTube to their site went through the roof. It was incredibly successful. And we outdid the video that was there a year and a half ago. We outdid that in the first 2 weeks or so of the new video being put up there.
All right, and now you have your channel all optimized, and then you have all of your current content optimized. What's next? You got a plan for, what are you going to do on YouTube? How are you going to build out that strategy we've kind of been talking a little bit about? So Here is a list of a couple of the types of videos that really thrive on YouTube. So the top 5, the pros and cons, the FAQs, testimonials, all that really informative types of videos, that's what's going to do well. So thinking about your own business, what can you implement into your strategy and what's going to work best for each and every one of you, because it is obviously going to be different. And then with those videos, we want to start with the script. So once you have kind of the type of video you're going to do, maybe that's the top 5 or the pros and cons, it's time to create a script. What are you going to address in the video? So first you want to, of course, address the problem, and then you have to kind of, let the viewers know what are you going to help them with. How are you going to help them? And then identifying yourself. And before you get into kind of the meat of the content in the video, we always like to go back to a call to action. How can you help later on? How can they refer back to your other social channels, other YouTube videos, maybe your website later on? And then you're going to get into the meat of the content, depending on what that video is about, maybe the pros and cons, as I previously mentioned. How can you kind of list those out? Then tying it back again to the call to action, we always want to get the users to your site. We want to get them to fill out the contact us form, the demo form, whatever it might be for you. And then wrapping up that video quickly. We know that users' attention spans can get quicker and quicker over time, or shorter over time. So we want to make sure that we're keeping the videos clear and concise. As Scott previously mentioned, those chapters are really great on YouTube to let users know where they are in the video, what you're kind of going to be talking about each part of the video. Again, wrapping it up, making sure you have those clear and concise call to actions. And then with the strategy, of course, tying it back, what is the whole goal of these YouTube videos, of the type of video you're going to use, and the script you're going to kind of write out. It's going to be for those search results. So you always want to have that in the back of your mind while you're planning out each individual video, but then also kind of planning out your overall video strategy. And then here is a video searching on YouTube. This one is searching for why should I buy an iPhone 15. Here you can see some of the results. They all have some really great thumbnails, as well as different titles for the videos. As Scott mentioned, you want to make sure that your title for your video is going to be different than the thumbnail, and what can you do to really draw the user in. And then on the next slide, we show kind of how the YouTube tagging is going to come into play. As you can see on the right hand side, you have those suggested videos. So going back to that really great thumbnail and those great titles, they get smaller with the suggested videos. So how is your video going to stand out against your competitors, other people in the same space as you? So utilizing your graphics team or our graphics team, maybe to make sure you have something that pops out, and then also coming up with a creative title to, again, draw users in.
So Wikidurn number 4, kind of how it's made. Equipment, talent, production, and post-production, and most importantly, time. That's the biggest issue with video content, is it's expensive as far as equipment and time that needs to be, you have to put into all this type of stuff that we can't necessarily help you with, but we can kind of walk through some of these other tips. So camera doesn't have to be fancy with, these iPhones and, Androids and everything. The phones are getting crazier and crazier as far as the camera power and 4K and all that type of stuff. So it doesn't necessarily have to be a fancy camera. You can use your phone. There's thousands of phone mounts out there and tripods and everything too. External microphone for sure, rather than using the cameras onboard microphone, having an external camera or external microphone. Lighting, preferably 2 lights, gives you a little bit better shaping. Ring lights are okay. You got to watch for kind of the white, the halo in the eyes from the ring lights, which is kind of the downside. But, watching out for some of that. Simple backgrounds and backdrops could be a banner, a trade show display, or even a portion of your office, or however you want to kind of stage all that, or your shop area. And determine who the star is, who's going to be that person running the video. Try to find, if you can, someone who's less likely to leave in a couple of months. So, C-suite people are nice. I mean, videos can go obsolete. You can always pull the video down and replace it with a new person. It's always an option too. But, try to not bring the new social person that started last month and have them star a YouTube video just yet. Give them a little bit of time. From a production standpoint, like Morgan was saying, writing your script, planning out the additional content, like what else do you need to go with the script as far as your on-page content? What if they go to the website? What are they going to need to see there? Have your website ready. So if we're driving people from a video to the website, we better make sure there's a call to action on the page or a form filled out or something like that. And speaking of that, making sure that your tracking metrics are also in place. Page views, GA4, goal tracking for form submissions or email signups or anything like that, but making sure that all this stuff is done ahead of time. Recording the actual content, I know it's one line item, but that could be like 2 days worth of work. So not kind of glossing over that too much, but that's kind of the hard part. Then recording those smaller clips for the short form versions as well. Post-production, video editing, again, could be just as long as it takes to shoot the whole entire video. But make sure that's all edited up, spliced up for the shorter form content, which we'll talk about in a second. Transcription of the video, I already mentioned, we want to have that on the page and we want to have that in the description. Your on-site content, that's kind of where that lives. And then scheduling out how you're going to tell everybody that you've got a new piece of content.
All right.
Speaking of which,
and my personal favorite part as a social specialist, blasting your content out. So as we talked about, you optimized your channel, you created that strategy, you created the videos. Now what? You have to blast your content out. And one piece of content, one video can go a really long way, which is really great and can be utilized across a lot of channels. So of course you want to put it on YouTube. You also want to use YouTube Shorts, Facebook posts, Facebook stories, Instagram posts, Instagram stories, Instagram Reels, TikToks, Pinterest, on-site content, and email campaigns. That's a lot of different places you can put one type of content, and you can utilize it in lots of different ways. So with the Reels and the TikToks and the YouTube Shorts, making sure you have that horizontal content within the proper dimensions, really captivating, going to draw users in, typically more short form, maybe leaves them on a cliffhanger, leaves them wanting more. With things like the static in-feed posts or an email campaign, that's typically going to go out to your current followers, people who might already be current customers or are already aware of you. So what type of content do you want to snip and put out to those people? So lots of different places you can blast out that content, lots of different channels. You might not have all of these. That's okay. Using what you do have to get that YouTube video out there. And then also, I do want to mention, obviously, with the on-site content, as Scott kind of mentioned, you can use that transcription to put the on-page words, use those keywords, get some content onto the actual site as well as the video. Going back to search results and SEO, kind of all ties together here. And then we're going to go over some additional resources.
So these are some of the not necessarily partners of ours, but some of the resources that we use a lot as a team, specifically from an SEO perspective too. Capwing, we got some video editing options within that. Biteable, repurpose.io for post automation, kind of help build up that blasting out the content. VidPro, video, audio, visual retailers information. StreamYard for a bunch of recording tools. Rev.com is really good for transcription and the captioning tools. Everybody got that? And then vidIQ is one of our personal favorites. There's a huge amount of YouTube insights in there. That's kind of where you can use that tool to dig through to find the tagging of some of the videos. You can set up your competitors to watch those channels, find out what it's pulling in the data as far as views and likes and interaction rates within all those videos. So it's a fantastic tool. Ahrefs and SEMrush are great SEO researching tools. And then from a equipment resource side, newer.com is a great resource. We've got a couple people on our team that buy a ton of stuff from them. Backdrops, they're great for starter packages for camera setups and lights and all that type of stuff. Really good pricing and everything like that too. And plus you can also buy obviously on Amazon and probably have it in your garage in 10 minutes. Don't forget all your Wikiderm apparel online. Black Friday sale coming up in a couple weeks. So how many of us still think we're doing YouTube right? Ooh, good. So you guys learned something. Very good, very good. Any questions or comments or anything on any of that?
I just am wondering what your take is. Oh, sorry. Should I be holding this up or just?
Right there's
Hello. Okay. I just wanted to know if you had any thoughts on call to action in videos themselves and whether the call to action should primarily be focused on subscribe, or some kind of sales message, some kind of call to action where we're getting them to go to a product page, a service page, because we've been kind of thinking that maybe we should not be doing a lot of selling on the YouTube channel, that it should strictly be, content that has value to
Sure.
people for different reasons, and then
From like an educational standpoint.
yeah, I guess so.
Sure.
But that it's a long game, so it's kind of like, and it's hard to sell
Yeah.
that to our own internal people sometimes, because they
Yeah.
want to see, like, why aren't you telling them about this product? Well, because we want to build trust, but I don't know if you have any thoughts on that.
Yes. It's always great because if they come across, if they're searching for whatever product or service, and if they come across that video first, what are the odds of them clicking on the profile name, going to your page, going to the About Us page, clicking on the website, having in that tile, the click tile that's in there. And I think you've got to have a certain number of videos to have those click tiles be available. But driving that to a specific landing page. Lead magnets are great as far as YouTube videos too. So if we're talking about a specific service, hey, we've got a white paper that gives you all this information and more. Click the link below, takes them to the landing page with the form, and get the PDF download or whatever the case is. But trying to drive them with those link tiles, obviously getting them to subscribe or pointing them to related videos is easy to at the end of the video play and everything too. So yeah, I mean, you could quickly drop like, hey, we do this, and then kind of continue on with the content, and then kind of wrap it up with that again then too at the end. So. And what's nice is that we can track all this stuff, right, with analytics within YouTube and tracking within GA4 and all that fun stuff. So, any other questions, comments? Yeah.
So there was a slide it was under number 3. And it was the video types that thrive, and we didn't get a chance to write them down. So can you go back or just let us know? Thank you so much.
Yeah.
There we go.
There we go.
Thank you.
Yep.
Okay, awesome. Thank you so much.
Yeah, they don't always have to be like TV commercials. Could be one person standing in front of a product. Like, hey, these are all the features of this product. You should get one.
Awesome. Thank you.
And they all don't have to be professionally edited, and they don't all have to be Super Bowl commercials. So it can be, as long as you're informative and you know what you're talking about and giving them a solution and kind of answering what their question was, what they're originally searching for, that's what we're trying to get them to. If they come back to the website, they subscribe, all that type of stuff, that's great. But kind of giving them that content and letting them know that, hey, this thing exists or this service is out there to help you or whatever like that. So
Great, thank you.
And how can we help? Of course, like we said, time is of the essence. So if you don't have time, you don't have the resources in-house, check with your sales rep, check with your account manager, check with your digital marketing strategist. We can help. We certainly can do audits of your channels. This goes for everything, email, social media, all that type of stuff, not just YouTube. But if you're looking for us to kind of give you some good tips on how to optimize your channel, we can help you with the graphics and the content writing, all that type of stuff. It's a lot of stuff that you can do now, but the hardest part is finding that time, especially when it comes to video, because it is so incredibly time consuming. So, but we are here to help if you need it. I think that's it. We're a little early.
Thank you for listening to Modern Marketing Messages. For more information about the topics discussed today, check out the description of this episode. If you like this episode, follow the podcast wherever you listen to them to stay up to date with us. While you're at it, give us a rating and share this podcast with others. Don't forget to follow us on social media at Modern Marketing Messages. This episode is brought to you by americaneagle.com Studios. I'm Taylor Karg, and I'll be back with another Modern Marketing Message.